Thank you for staying with us. In a significant development, Nigeria has officially assumed the chairmanship of the Rabat process, a crucial regional dialogue on migration. The handover ceremony took place during the senior officials meeting in Porto, Portugal on January the 29th to the 30th, 2025, that's this year. The meeting will be attended by senior officials from participating countries who reviewed the progress of the Cadiz Action Plan 2023 to 2027 and discussed Nigeria's program for the chairmanship in 2025. With Nigeria at the helm, the chairmanship is expected to build on the progress made by Portugal and further advance the regional dialogue on migration. The Rabat process serves as an essential platform for dialogue and cooperation on migration between European and African countries. Nigeria's leadership is anticipated to foster enhanced collaboration and progress in migration governance, the protection of vulnerable groups, and sustainable development. This milestone underscores Nigeria's growing role in regional and global affairs. Joining us from Porto, Portugal via Zoom, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yilwata. Good morning. And also joining us, political development analyst and host of the Hidden Sparks podcast, Dr. Jake Ekpele. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Honorable Minister, let me begin with you. Congratulations, first of all, a major step, a milestone being achieved already for Nigeria, as it has been said. But how much of this would make an impact, or what is in this, what is in it for Nigeria, especially knowing that we also have migration issues and challenges internally and even externally. The government has been trying to address all of this. We have laws, and some have said these laws seem to be so weak, they are not giving us the results we need. But here we are now making a mark internationally, but homeward, we do not know what this would mean for us.
Thank you, and congratulations to all Nigerians for the feat we achieved as a country. And it may interest you to also know that statistically, Nigeria is not even among the top 20 countries that follow irregular paths into migration. From the data we got yesterday from IOM and the rest, Red Cross and other international communities and organizations are involved in migration governance. We are doing very well in terms of migration governance in Nigeria. We have institutions compared to most countries that are around us. We have the NAPTIP, we have the Human Rights Commission, we have different agencies, we have even the Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, several other agencies that we have that are actually fostering migration governance. And I think we need to celebrate Nigeria and what we're doing and how we have reduced the numbers over years. Even in terms of crimes, also we've dropped quite significantly compared to other African countries that yesterday, they gave us data. So I think we need to celebrate Nigeria and what we're doing back home. Back home, it seems to, even myself was shocked when I saw the data about, the migration into Europe especially, and the data that was before us simply shows that Nigeria is doing very well.
Interesting stuff. Mr. Ekpele, let me come to you on this. And I know that you're always at the forefront, in fighting the cause of Nigerians when it comes to, protecting their rights, especially the vulnerables. But then the Rabat process emphasizes the protection of rights, migrant rights and dignity. And in the wake of the U.S. President Donald Trump now working ensuring that those who are illegal migrants are, thrown out of the country. We saw the face-off between himself and the Colombian government. Are you aware of any policies or programs in place to protect Nigerian migrants, especially, vis-a-vis, neighboring countries and those who are member states of this Rabat process focus, especially the vulnerable to trafficking and exploitation, in line with the Rabat process's focus on human rights?
Well, thank you very much. Very interesting question. It's as if you were in the room yesterday. The question that I asked, and I'll come back to that, but I really want to thank the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian, who is appearing with me this morning, his openness, his willingness to engage. I think we have, not because he's sitting with me, but I'm saying that I think we have a truly public servant who truly want to serve. So that said, I want to say that exactly, myself and the Honorable Minister, we were also shocked to note that the migration process in Nigeria is inclusive. Whether from the policy perspective to the implementation framework. But then we still have a lot to do. Now, the international community are learning from us because they were shocked to know that inclusivity is part of the Ministry of Humanitarian Migration process and the policy that is in place at the moment. And then you ask a very big question that I did ask yesterday from the international community to tell us what they are willing to do to engage the U.S., especially with what is happening. Illegal migrants are picked up and sent home. Now, I'm not a fan of illegality. I'm not saying that those who migrated illegally should stay there illegally. However, every human being deserves some level of dignity, respect, and their rights must be respected. Yes, they've done something illegal. That does not mean they should be demonized or killed because they ran foul of the law. So I think there's a need for the international community to discuss how best to engage the U.S. government so that these issues can be discussed thoroughly. I think one of also the push factors we need to also look at when it comes to irregular migration is the issue of visa restriction. Visa restriction is largely responsible for the irregular migrations that we see, especially coming from Africa, and of course, economic factor. So you find a situation where people want a greener pasture, so they would travel and get a better life, so to speak, if they have the opportunity to get into those countries. So for the vulnerable, I think the nexus is the fact that there are persons with disability who are one time or the other can be arrested because they are involved in irregular migration. Now, the truth is, does the camp know some of the challenges of persons with disability, the wheelchair users, the blind, the visually impaired, what the Down syndrome, the older persons, how prepared are those camps to reasonably accommodate persons with disability? And I think these are some of the brilliant ideas that the Honorable Minister and the team are putting together so that Nigeria can showcase the leadership role that we have taken over. And I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Minister, who is the chair of this process. And he has already rolled out his wonderful vision that were loudly applauded in the room yesterday. Right. So I think as humble as the Honorable Minister is, and some of us will blow the trumpet of the country and what the country is doing. Thank you.
Interesting. Let me come back to you, Honorable Minister. From what Dr. Ekpele just mentioned, he said that there are measures being put in place by your ministry, and it will be good to hear from you what your ministry is putting in place to address all of the issues that he rightly mentioned: inclusivity, the matter of U.S. and Trump's administration's immigration policies, and how we are trying to ensure that we maintain this leadership position, not just to the world, but also internally, where people are also talking about we have our internal problems. Many persons are also being displaced internally, and we are seeing all of these issues as well.
It will interest you that yesterday we held a meeting here between myself, Abike Dabri of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the representative of Foreign Affairs, and some of the participants who were here yesterday. We held a meeting to discuss the response plan that we'll do in case some Nigerians are deported from USA. And we said we'll go back home immediately on Tuesday. We will now schedule a meeting and call all the agencies of government that are responsible and that will respond to such such migration issues, so that in case it happens, just like we did in Sudan, when there was a crisis in Sudan, Nigeria responded by ensuring that all the Nigerians who are in Sudan were safely returned back home in a dignified form. And that's what we want, mechanism we want to put in place on Tuesday when we return back to Nigeria and have our first meeting, initial meeting, and ensure that we properly respond to it. Already the president has given a directive for that to be done, and we're ensuring that we respond to what the president has put in place for us to do. Secondly, we also presented yesterday our work plan for 2024, 2025, 2026 as the chairmanship, as the chairman of the Rabat process. Nigeria presented her position on key areas, and we want to focus on the root causes of migration, and also looking at the pathways of migration and how we can create a sustainable solution to these issues. And I think one of the key areas we look at first was migration within Africa due to climate-induced changes. And we, like in Nigeria, we have flooding. In most countries, they have desertification and, scarce resources within, several parts of of Africa that is leading people to migrate from one place to another. We also look at the issue of jobs that are, critical issue that most Nigerians and most Africans are moving to find greener pasture. And we look at also some of them coming out for education. Those people, and a lot of other factors. But I think the focal area here, we say we address, because the population of people who are involved in this migration are mostly youths. And the first thing is to see how we can skill up the youths across Africa and ensure that we provide such skill, give them skills and innovation, and how those innovations can help them either settle in Africa or to move to Europe through regular pathways in a dignified manner. And these are things that we're looking up to work out in this, as the chairman of this process. Secondly, we're also going to work on capacity development for regional capacity development for the region, for countries, member states, so that we ensure that they have enough capacity. We use our local capacity from NAPTIP to Human Rights Commission, to even the Commission for People with Disability. Our own several commissions are involved in managing migration issues. I have also reduced the migration issues to even drug law enforcement agencies that we have that has reduced the issue of migration due to drug-related issues. These are all issues we're looking at to ensure that we bring to bear while we serve for 1 year, to ensure that we build capacity across the member states. And we're working also with two countries that yesterday we discussed with them. First, with Spain, that agreed that they want to have exchange program with us, where some of our youths can do summer jobs from Nigeria. They can move to Spain and work for a period of time and return back to Nigeria. And we also discussed with the Republic of Netherlands, who agreed also that they will allow our youth also come for an exchange program that can allow you to engage yourself with other member countries to see if that can help to reduce the irregular parts, and if we can expand the regular part through visa provision, so that we can reduce the pressure that we are having at the moment within Africa.
All right, still staying with you, Mr. Minister, isn't this going to enhance the Japa syndrome that we've been talking about? This arrangement you have spoken of, you said that there are measures being put in place such that young people, the youth, can work in Spain and return. I am wondering what measures are being put in place to ensure that they return, because there are those who have gone and never returned.
You can't be talking of completely eliminating mobility. yesterday we had the data before us that in around 1970, just roughly about less than 100 million people across the globe that were living in other countries. By now, it has more than tripled. We're heading towards almost a large chunk of people moving from one country to another. So mobility will keep on increasing as people get, with the internet services, the connect, the global reach, and so there's so much mobility added for education, for resources, several exchange program, businesses. And so the issue of restricting ourselves to stay in Nigeria may not be a solution, but arming our people with skills, with education. Mark you, Nigerians are about some of the best countries contributing, in terms of diaspora, remittance in Africa, are also contributing to the economy of US, economy of UK, and even in Europe. Yesterday I met two professors from Nigeria who are in the University of Porto here, who are working, and they also join us. It shows the kind of capacity that we have, that people are needing across the globe. We need those capacities.
Honorable Minister, I asked this question because we are facing a challenge in Nigeria already, especially in the health sector, where we have a huge number of persons leaving the country, and then we are seeing the challenge. We have a weak health system as it is. We have long time for patients to meet with doctors and all of it. The implication on the host countries, are we looking at that critically as well?
Yeah, and I think these are areas that are opening up space for everybody. We need to also work on that, on such opportunities, because mark you, we still have a lot of unemployed doctors in Nigeria also who are looking for jobs. And creating those pathways will help us actually reduce unemployment in the country.
Right. Interesting stuff. Mr. Epele, let me come to you, because the Honorable Minister actually mentioned the issue of diaspora remittances, because just as we say, colloquially, they would say that for every disappointment, there is a blessing. So part of this blessing might be, the diaspora remittances we're getting from those who have migrated, albeit legally. For instance, according to the World Bank, it says that the diaspora remittances to Nigeria reached $20 billion in 2023. So I'm wondering, what strategies do you think are in place, or if they are in place, actually, maybe they are enough, especially for the ministry to implement and to channel these remittances into poverty reduction and alleviation and providing jobs, especially for those in the rural areas and the undeserved people?
Well, a part of your questions kept cutting, but I think I picked up bits and pieces of it. In terms of remittances, and that speaks to the economic advantage of what we're doing here. I mean, the Honorable Minister has been holding very high-level side meetings, including the one we're going to hold today with the European Union. So it's not just remittances; they're also development opportunity, economic development opportunities, where development partners gives more funding to projects, give more funding to capacity development, to strengthening the institutions that we already have. We have very robust institutions in Nigeria that many countries don't even have. How do we strengthen those institutions? But also, to speak directly to the remittances question that you ask, yes, there's a need to encourage Nigerians who are abroad. I mean, look at what is happening in India. Part of their economy thrives because of remittances. And so there's a need to encourage that. The Diaspora Commission is doing that. The Ministry of Humanitarian has also increased the engagement. So I think in terms of strategy, the minister, I keep referring to him not because he's sitting with me, but because I know what he's doing. There is a strategy to further engage Nigerians who are abroad and encourage them to come and invest in the country. Their investment will cause them to remit more funding, investment in real estate, investment in businesses, making sure that there is an ease of doing business so that they can easily register, easily establish their business, easily get investment, the benefits of their investment, which will encourage them to remit more funding.
Absolutely.
There's also
land on your thought. Land on your thought quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there's also that encouragement of making sure that some of them that are remitting money to family members, that the family members don't squander their remittances and discourage them from remitting more. So there's a multifaceted approach to solving the issue of remittance, remittances that will not be healthy to the economy of the country. So there's a need to encourage that.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, a very quick question for you. You know, just yesterday we now got the news of the final exit of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, you know, from ECOWAS. And then we know that this Rabat process has to do with 7 ECOWAS countries and 7 European countries and all of that. How do you plan on ensuring that those moving from within Nigeria to all of those places, not just because of business, but due to insecurity, climate change, which you mentioned earlier, are provided with safe corridor to and from some of these countries that are bordering Nigeria, especially those that have just exited ECOWAS region?
But it may interest you that yesterday all of them were in here in Porto. They are still part of the Rabat process, and they committed themselves to participating to ensure that we still link up with them in terms of the Rabat process, and they will obey all the rules and of engagement that the Rabat process provides for participating nations. So I think we're still on the safe side, you know, in terms of implementation of the Rabat process with those countries.
Interesting.
All right. I believe that a lot has been said with regards to this issue, but one quick question I want to ask, Honorable Minister, is the matter of our internal challenges, what we are doing to addressing it, talking about those who have been internally displaced and those who are also seeking help. We see so much happening in the Northeast with regards to the matter of conflict and all of it. What measures we are putting in place that these persons are safe, resettled, and that their dignity, right, like you have been mentioning, is kept intact?
Just before I left, the UN through the IOM and you know, they held a meeting with the governors of the Chad basins. That's from the country of Chad Republic, Niger, and part of Cameroon. That is it held in Yobe State, hosted by Yobe State, but in Borno State, to ensure that all the refugees, the migrants, and all the asylum seekers within this vicinity. In the interest also that Nigeria has over 100,000 asylum seekers and migrants that we are refugees that we are also hosting as a country, and we are managing the rights also. And we have the Human Rights Commission, and we have all the other commissions that we have in Nigeria that are enforcing this, enforcing this. It may interest you to also know that under my ministry, we have also the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and the IDPs who are also taking care of that. And, you know, like I discussed last time on this, this station, they were putting up durable solutions to ensure that we provide livelihood for these people. And also, we're also working with the international community to ensure that the rights of these migrants and also the refugees and IDPs are also all protected.
All right, we'll have to leave the conversation here now, but we must thank you, Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yilwakda, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, as well as Dr. Jake Ekpele, Policy and Political Development Analyst, host of Hidden Sparks podcast. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, we'll take a break now. When we return,